everybody, Matt Clark here. So welcome to Module 6 of Amazing Selling Machine. So by this point, we start getting into some different promotion tactics that in an ideal world, you already have your product live. In fact, some of these you'll need to have your product live. But if you're not there yet, don't worry. Do everything in Module 5 from a promotion standpoint. And even if you do have your product live, make sure you've already started doing the things in Module 5 to really lay the foundation to start ramping up sales. So in Module 6 is where we take your promotion to the next level. This information is brand new, it's cutting edge, it's what's working right now with this business. It's how to scale your traffic and sales to really any level you want. Because you start learning how to use coupons and videos and even some paid traffic sources like Facebook, which we know is absolutely huge, and even Google AdWords, and some different tools like that to ramp up sales really to as big as you want. So use this module to take your sales to the next level, and even if you're waiting on a product, once you get it live, come back to this module and use it to ramp up your sales. This is something you can do again and again and again and again, along with the stuff in Module 5. So this is kind of phase 2 of the promotion. So go ahead and get started right now with Module 6 of Amazing Selling Machine.
Hi, Mike McClary here, and I put together this very brief video to give you an overview of the different types of buyer traffic that you're going to learn in this module. In Module 6, you're learning some amazing methods for getting all types of buyer traffic to your Amazon product listings. And I mentioned buyer traffic because these methods are specifically designed to get customers who are actually looking for your products to your product page on Amazon. This short overview will tell you a little about each one and when you might want to use them. The first are the coupon and deal sites, and this traffic method can be a great way to kick off your product launch and get a huge burst in sales. Sometimes you've been running through your entire inventory if you're not careful. It's also a good tactic you can use a few times throughout the year, but it's definitely not the kind of traffic strategy that you want to run all the time every day. The cost for it? Absolutely nothing. The only thing you need to do is spend a little time setting up your accounts on these sites and maybe spending some time on the sites. Amazon sponsored ads can be run all the time. They should be a mainstay in your traffic toolkit and can be run 24/7 all year round. They're incredibly easy to set up and they require little maintenance other than just monitoring and optimizing them every once in a while just to make sure they're performing as desired. The cost? It's actually very little compared to any other type of paid traffic. While the volume of traffic is not that great, the return on your investment for these types of ads are among the highest you will find. Initially, you'll want to use Facebook ads to help launch your product and get a burst of sales also, as well as potentially helping you get reviews and some feedback. Later on, when you become more advanced in this type of advertising, it can be an extremely powerful tool that can be used all year round for all different types of strategies, such as building a customer list, sending customers to your own website or web store, and countless other marketing strategies. The cost, well, they can range from extremely cheap to however much you're willing to spend. Google AdWords can be another great way to get some initial traffic for a product that you just launched. However, there are some limitations on how you send your AdWords traffic to Amazon, so this method might not be the best for any long-term use. For the cost, it really varies depending upon your market and competition, so you definitely want to make sure you monitor exactly what you're bidding, what your daily budgets are. Now, the traffic methods listed in this module will definitely give you a huge advantage over most other Amazon sellers. However, even if you use all of them, and I can tell you for myself, I am not yet using all these methods, but even if you do, you've only just scratched the surface of all the traffic available to you. There are still tons of other ways to get traffic, such as pay-per-view, paper-text, Twitter ads, YouTube ads, media buying, local advertising, and many, many others. There's a good friend of the course, his name's Gohar Chaudhry, and he loves to say the following: if you don't think that you're getting enough traffic, you're simply not looking in the right place. So how do you learn more? For one, be active in the community forums and on the Facebook community page. And that way you can learn and share from other members. And two, try to attend the live event, where we're going to have some of the best traffic experts in the world sharing information on how to get all types of traffic for your business. In this video, we're going to show you how to use Amazon's own internal advertising platform, Amazon Sponsored Ads. This program is for Amazon sellers only and is not only an easy way to get started advertising, but it can also provide some great results in a very short amount of time. To get started, you log into your Seller Central account, then go to the advertising menu, and then click on Campaign Manager. What this program allows you to do is to advertise any products that you're currently selling on Amazon so that they show up in the search results on Amazon when customers are searching for your type of product. To give you an idea, let's go over to Amazon and I'll do a quick search. So let's start typing in, let's see, one of my favorite products, olive oil sprayer. And here we go. Now these are the normal search results you're used to seeing right in the middle and going all the way down to the bottom. Usually there's 16 results there. And then when you get to the bottom, you'll see something called Sponsored Products on Amazon. And these are the ads that we're talking about and where your ads will show up too. There's usually 2 at the bottom. And also, if you notice when we were coming down here, they started putting ads on the right-hand side also. They may be repeats, the ones at the bottom, and they also include a couple additional products too. Amazon's always doing all kinds of testing with where they're placing your product ads to make sure that they get as many sales and you get as many sales possible, which is great for you. You also might see your ads showing up on mobile devices right here in the middle of the search too. They've been testing that out lately, and that's really a great spot to be. Now, if we were to click on any one of these ads, and we'll take the first one right here, it takes you to the product detail page just as if they clicked on the normal search results. So this advertising is a great way to get your products to show up in search results and get customers looking at your product detail page. So let's go back over to Seller Central and get our first ad campaign set up. All you need to do from your campaign screen is to click on Create Campaign. And you need to give your campaign a name. It doesn't matter what the name is. I prefer to give my campaign names something similar to the product that I'm selling. That way later on when you're selling multiple products and you have multiple ad campaigns, you can tell which one is for which. So we'll give this one the olive oil sprayer test campaign name. After that, you need to set a budget. They always default in $5. That's probably a little too low. I do like to keep mine reasonable starting off somewhere between $10 and $20 until I've optimized my campaign and see how it's working. So let's start off with a budget around 15. You can leave the start date from right where it is and then click on Save and Continue. Next, we'll need to create what's called an ad group. And each campaign can have one or many ad groups. That way you can do some different testing of what your keywords are and what's working. And each ad group itself can have one or many ads. So it's kind of like a tree-like structure. However, for simplicity's sake, I recommend starting off simple and just having one campaign with one ad group and with one ad. So we'll do that here. We'll give the ad group any old name, doesn't really matter. Just call it ad group 1. And then we need to give it a default bid. And what this is going to do, it's going to be the default maximum cost per click that you're willing to pay for any keywords that we add to this ad group. Now later on, you can go in, you can adjust each individual cost per click for each keyword. This is just going to be the default. What I like to do is kind of check and see what Amazon is suggesting. They update this about once a month, and they tell you what the winning cost per click is by category. So if you look at this by clicking on the What Should I Bid link, you'll see the date this is updated was May 2nd, so about a month ago, and they'll tell you what the average winning cost per click is for each category. Now we're in, let's see, home and kitchen, and they're suggesting 16 cents. That's a really low bid. What I like to do also is bid more than what they're suggesting there. I think you'll find, especially early on when you are testing out your campaigns, you want to bid a little more to make sure that you get impressions and clicks. Otherwise, you won't really get enough data quick enough to determine if your keywords and your campaign is working. So instead of 16 cents, let's go with 25 cents. You just want to make sure it's reasonable. I wouldn't go anything above a buck for your first campaign. Once you do that, then you'll need to add your product to this ad group. As you can see here, there is our olive oil spray we'll be selling, and all you do is click add, and then that shows up over here. Next, we need to pick the keywords for our campaign. Now, Amazon again makes this really simple for you. All you need to do is scroll down, click on recommend keywords for your product, and there we go. It gives you all the suggested keywords, and you can go through these one by one and add them over there. So I'll go through, let's see, Misto olive oil sprayer, that's good. Misto oil sprayer, Misto sprayer, olive oil sprayer, kitchen oil sprayer, brushed aluminum, probably don't want that. Misto, that's a good one. Olive oil might be a good one too. It's not for our product, but people who are looking for olive oil might want to buy an olive oil sprayer, so we'll add that. Oil sprayer, not kitchen sprayer, maybe olive sprayer, brush. Those might be a little too generic. But I've added all those over there that Amazon suggested. Then you can go over there and also add in any other keywords that you want. So product keyword 1, product keyword 2, and you should have already done a lot of research in the earlier modules figuring out exactly what your target keywords are. So you want to make sure that you add these over there. Once you have those added over there, you just click Save, and then you're done. Your ad is now completely set up. You don't need to go in and add any images or add copy because Amazon does that for you. They're going to take the images that are already on your product and also the title of your product and create the ad for you. That's another reason why we always want you to have some really good eye-catching images on your product and also a good, well-converting product title, because those are also used in things like this, such as your ads. Now that our ad's created, let's go look at some performance figures that Amazon gives us in order to really optimize our ads and make sure they're working as best as they can be. I'm going to click on ad groups, and as you see, there's the ad group that we created here. Most of the figures here are pretty self-explanatory. Of course, they're all 0 now because we just started the campaign. But if you look at this, we'll see impressions. That's the number of times your ad has shown up during a search. Clicks is the number of times someone's clicked on it. And then click-through rate is just a function of those two. First important thing to keep in mind is that if this number is very low, we're talking somewhere under 1%, maybe 0.3, 0.4, 0.5%. That's totally normal. Don't worry about it. Every week or every day, someone posts a question about why are their click-through rates so low. It's just the way it is on Amazon. For some reason, human nature there is that people do not search or do not click on the ads that often. However, it's okay because you're not paying for how many times your ad shows up. You're only paying for how many times they click on it. And even though you may not get a ton of clicks, when they do click, the results are really, really good. So next, you'll see how much you spent on your campaign and then what the average cost per click is. Then after that, all the rest of the figures have to do with sales. So Amazon keeps track of how many times someone has clicked on your ad and then ended up buying your product. But the very important thing to keep in mind here is that this data has a natural delay built into it for one reason or another. Not sure why. Maybe it takes time for the payments to clear, and that's what's holding up Amazon from actually reporting those sales. But your sales may not show up for 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 days. However, the other figures on here, such as impressions and clicks and your spend, those show up almost immediately, maybe within an hour. And the important thing to keep in mind there is that if you're monitoring a brand new campaign that maybe has been going for 2 or 3 days, you will see all the clicks and how much money you're spending on it, but you won't be able to see all the sales that have been generated off it yet. So you can't just make a decision after a couple days on how to optimize your campaign. What we recommend is for any new campaign, let it run for 3 or 4 days, then pause it and let it stay paused for another 3 or 4 days and let those sales figures catch up. Then once you have all the sales figures in and you know what your cost was, you can get a better picture of exactly how well your campaign performed. And when you see that information, you can determine which keywords performed well for you and which ones did not. And for those that did perform well, you might want to go in and increase the bid on those in order to get some more clicks. And for those that did not perform well, you might want to lower the bid or possibly even pause them all together because they're just not working out for you. Another thing you can do, you can kind of see how your daily budget is working. If you're reaching your maximum budget every day, you may want to consider raising it to something that's reasonable that you can afford. And that way you'll actually get some more sales out of it too. But only after you have optimized your campaign and you truly have a good feel for what keywords are working for you and what your return is for your ad campaign. In this video, we're going to show you how to set up your very own Amazon promotion. A promotion is basically a coupon or discount code that allows a customer to save money or provides them some other type of incentive to purchase your product over a different one. To set up your first promotion, you log into Seller Central, then you select Advertising and Manage Promotions. On the Manage Promotion screen, you'll see the 4 different types of promotions that you can set up and run inside Amazon. Amazon actually has a really good detailed help section that go into great detail about all these different promotions, and you can learn about that by clicking the Learn More link at the top. However, we're going to go over these at just the right amount of detail to get you going as quickly as possible. Now let's go over the 4 types of promotions. The first one is free shipping, but it's important to note that this type of promotion can only be used on fulfilled by merchant products. So if you're selling using FBA, as you should be, then you won't be able to use this type of promotion. The money off gives either a flat dollar amount or a percentage off of your customer's entire order. And this is the one you're going to use the majority of the time and also the type of promotion that we're going to go over in this video. The buy one, get one simply offers your customer an additional product when they buy one of your products. And then lastly is the external benefits promotion, which gives your customer some kind of benefit outside the normal products, such as a promotional video or maybe an ebook that you'll send to them after they purchase your product. Now, before we actually create our first promotion, I'm first going to show you how to create what's called a product selection list. We do that by clicking on Manage Product Selection. A product selection list is nothing more than a list of one or more of your products, and that tells Amazon exactly which products the promotion you're creating can be used on. So we'll go ahead and select Create New Product Selection. Then you're shown a list of different ways that you can actually select these products to add to the list. I always choose ASIN, it's just the simplest for me. Click Submit. And then here we need to give Amazon some internal information that doesn't get shown anywhere else. So it doesn't matter exactly what you type here, but they need to have a tracking ID. So we'll call this one the sprayer list. And then you can give it a little longer, more descriptive name if you want to, olive oil sprayers. And then here's where you list the ASINs that you want to be included in this list. Now we just want one for now, so we'll type in our Misto olive oil sprayer ASIN. And then if we're making a change to this list, let's say that we were removing or adding something to it, we can make some notes here so that Amazon allows you to track exactly when you're making changes to your list. Then we just click Submit. As you can see here, our product selection list has been created. And so now we're ready to go back and create our promotion. We'll click on the Manage Promotions button. And now we're right back where we were before. Now let's go ahead and create a money off promotion. Amazon breaks down the promotion setup into 3 different sections. The conditions that have to be met in order for the promotion to apply, the scheduling of the promotion that show when the promotion will start and end, and then any additional options that don't fit into the above 2 sections. The first condition that we have to set up is the number of items or dollar amount that the customer has to purchase in order to get this promotion. Our options here are a certain dollar amount they have to buy, a minimum number of items they have to buy, or a multiple of how many they can buy in order to get this. For example, for every 5 items, they're able to get this promotion. However, most of the time, you're going to want it just to be at least this quantity of items and leave that to 1 so that every time they buy a product, they will get this promotion. Next, we have to tell Amazon which products this promotion can apply to. So as we talked about earlier when creating your product selection list, we mentioned that a promotion can apply to every single product in your inventory or your catalog, or you can just apply it to one specific product selection list. Now we already set one up, so we're going to go ahead and pick that list right now. If later on you realize that you forgot to set up a new product selection list, you can do that right here by selecting this link. Next, we have to tell Amazon exactly how much of a discount the customer is going to get with this promotion. There are 2 options here, a flat dollar amount off or a percentage off. I always prefer using a dollar amount off, and here's why. Let's imagine that I'm running a very aggressive promotion. Let's say it's 80% off and I'm launching a new product, and I want a lot of different customers to buy that product. If I were to go ahead and use percentage off and make that 80% off, I can't control if one customer goes in and buys 100 of my products all at 80% off. And that way they can run out of my entire inventory and I really don't get my product out into a lot of different customers' hands. However, if instead I choose a dollar amount off and I convert that 80% off to a dollar amount, so let's say that my olive oil sprayer is selling for $20, 80% off would be a $16 discount. The difference here is that if the same customer goes in and tries to buy 100 of my olive oil sprayers, they only get $16 off one time. It doesn't come off of every single product like a percentage off does. So that's why I choose to always use the dollar off. However, though, if you're running a normal promotion, let's say it's 20% off, and you don't care if the same customer gets that discount on every product, feel free to use the percentage off. And finally, you can just leave the applies to show purchased items, and it'll work just fine. Now let's take a quick look at the advanced options, even though we're not going to use these. Tiers give you the ability to actually provide different discounts depending on different levels that the customer buys. So for example, let's say that they buy 5 items, you can offer 1 discount level, then you can add another tier, and for the next 5, it can be a completely different discount level, and you can continue to add tiers on. For excluded items, you can actually go in and exclude any item in your catalog from this particular campaign. Next, let's go look down at scheduling. We're going to look at the start date. You can leave that for whenever you want it to be. Now remember, however, that the time they give you here is going to be roughly 4 hours from whenever it is right now. Now, all Amazon promotions take 4 hours to be active, so you need to make sure that when you're getting ready to run a promotion that you plan ahead of time and get your promotion set up well in advance, because it will take 4 hours to start. Then you can also give it an end date and an end time. You can give your promotion some kind of internal description. Again, the customers aren't going to see this, but let's just give it the sample olive oil sprayer promo. And then you can give it a tracking ID. They'll automatically create one for you. I usually leave the default in right where it is. Next, let's go down and check out the additional options. The first one is the claim code checkbox. And by checking this, you are telling Amazon that the customer has to enter the claim code in order to get the promotion. If you don't check this, then any customer who buys your product during this time period will get the promotion, and you definitely don't want that. So we'll check that. Next one is one redemption per customer. You also want that checked. Otherwise, the same customer could keep coming back and getting the same promotion over and over again. Then there's the claim code itself. Amazon automatically generates an 8-character code for you, but you can also go in and create your own, make it a little more personal. So let's call this one Sprayer 1. It has to be 8 characters, so you need to make sure you use all 8 of them. Then there's the claim code combinability, and that's whether or not this claim code can be used with other claim codes or it has to be used all by itself. More times than not, you want it to be exclusive and you only want this promotion code to be used without anything else. If you do want to try it and go ahead and allow them to combine other promotions that you created, then you may want to check out the help function for these 2 different options right there. But more times than not, you want the exclusive claim code. Then let's go down and look at customizing the messaging. Now this is what's going to show to the customer after they check out. Amazon defaults in something called promotion applied. You can change this also. Let's just make this thanks, you rock. Then there's the short display text. You can just leave that blank. This box is very, very important. The detail page display text. If you want this to show up on your detail page, so anytime someone finds your product, whether or not they know what your promotion is, then check this box and it's going to show up on your product detail page. However, highly recommend making sure it's not checked, because usually when you're running promotion, you only want to give that promotion to certain people who you have found during your advertising and not every single customer who finds your product. So again, leave that box unchecked unless you definitely want to give this sale away to everyone who gets your product. And if that's the case, you might as well just change the price on your product. Lastly, they're going to show you the terms and conditions. These are all the basic ones that Amazon comes up with. I always just leave them the way they are. And then you click on review. On this screen here, Amazon will show you if there are any issues with your promotion. Let's say that you typed something in wrong, but as you can see, we did not. So all you need to do now is click on submit, and then the promotion will be created, and in 4 hours, it will be active. Now, when you're back on the Manage Promotion screen, you might not initially see the promotion you just created down here. Most likely, that's because you're only showing your active promotions and not your pending ones. And remember, it takes 4 hours for this promotion to become active, so in order to see it, you'll need to select pending and hit search, and then it should show up down there. Now, another very important thing to do is to test out your promotion to make sure that it's working the way it should. So after 4 hours when it's active, you're going to want to log in from another Amazon account, because you can't do it from your own seller account. In order to test out a promotion, you need to add your product to your cart, and a seller cannot add their own product to the cart. So either log in from a different account, your buyer account preferably, or have a friend or family member go ahead and try using the promotion to make sure it's working correctly. One thing they'll want to look for is to check out your product detail page. Make sure the promotion is not showing up on that page, unless of course you wanted it to. And then next, you actually want them to add the product to their cart and apply the promotion in order to see how the promotion is behaving. They don't have to purchase it or complete the purchase, but they do need to get to the point where they apply the promotion to make sure that it's actually giving them the right dollar amount or percent off that they're expecting. So that's how you set up a money off promotion using Amazon's promotion system, which is most likely the only type of promotion you'll ever need to create. However, if you do want to check out the buy one, get one or external benefits promotions, feel free to go in and look at Amazon's own documentation by selecting the Learn More link here. And they go into quite a bit of detail of how to set those up and how to use them. I'll also post a quick link to that below this video. Hi, this is going to be a short video that shows you how to protect your inventory in the event that you're running some type of very aggressive promotion. Let's say that you're selling 100 products for only $1 and you want to make sure that you don't run out of your entire inventory. In this video, we're going to show you how to protect as much of the inventory as you want so that when your promotion is over, you can then release that inventory and you'll actually have products to sell at regular price and take advantage of the ranking boost that you'll get with your promotion. So the first thing you do is you log into Seller Central, like I've done here, and you're going to want to go to Inventory, and then either Manage Inventory or Manage FBA Inventory. Either one will work. For this example here, I've went to Manage Inventory. As you can see here, I have one product, the Misto Brushed Olive Oil Sprayer. I don't actually have this. It's a fictitious product, but we're going to use that for this example. Also, you'll notice that I have 0 available, but in your situation or in a real-world situation, you'd have probably 50, 100, or several hundred. The first thing you want to do is for the product that you will be creating a promotion for, you're going to want to go to Actions and then Create Fulfillment Order. And this is exactly the same way that you go in and create an order in the event, let's say that a customer received a faulty product and you want to send them one free of charge, or you're sending a free product to a blogger or someone so they can give you an honest review. This is the exact same option you select for that. When you do that, the screen's going to come open where you would normally enter all of the information as to where you're going to send your product. So for right now, let's just go ahead and enter in some information here. Okay, so I've entered in some fake information here. Then down at the bottom, this is where you're going to enter in the amount of inventory that you want to protect. So general rule of thumb, I always suggest protect somewhere between 30 and 50% of your inventory. So if I actually had 200 products available, let's say that I wanted to protect 30% of it, I'd enter 60 here. And what this is going to do, it's going to create a fictitious order of 60 of your products, and that way Amazon's FBA will actually reserve that inventory so that you can no longer sell that. So you select 60 and you hit continue. On this screen, now this is where you normally would just select the type of shipping that you want, and you would say continue or submit order and actually go ahead and it would actually ship the order out. However, instead of doing that, you want to select this option up here that says hold this inventory for up to 2 weeks. When you do that, they're still going to reserve that inventory, but they actually won't ship out any of the products to you. Now, what Amazon tells us is that after 2 weeks, this order will automatically cancel, and they'll release that inventory back into stock. Just to be safe, though, is that once my promotion's over, I always go in and actually search for the order. It will be a pending order, so you'll need to make sure you do a search including pending orders, and then I cancel the order manually. I know some people are afraid that if you forget to cancel this order in 2 weeks, you're going to receive 60 or 100 of your products shipped out to the address you put in here. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Amazon says it doesn't work that way in help, but however, just be sure to go back in and cancel the order. Now, once you select the hold this inventory for up to 2 weeks, if I had that actual inventory in stock here, there would be a button to submit order. I would select it there, and then that inventory within a matter of minutes will be removed from my available inventory, and then no one will be able to buy it. So once your promotion is over, you go ahead, you end your aggressive coupon, you wait the right amount of time to make sure the coupon really has been ended by testing it, and then you go in, you find this order that you're creating, and then you'll go ahead and cancel it, and then you're ready to sell your products at full price then. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Welcome to the Coupon and Deal Sites video lesson in Module 6. In this lesson, we're going to show you how to tap into the selling power of the many different coupon and deal sites that you'll find on the internet. These sites give you a chance to launch your product and get a quick burst of sales, as well as run some additional promotions throughout the year. Now, the internet is filled with sites that allow consumers to share information on great deals that they found on the internet. And below, here are just a few examples of such sites, but you can actually find a lot more by searching on the internet. There's Fat Wallet, Woot, Slick Deals, Deals Plus, Retail Me Not, and many others. So why would you want to use these sites? Well, these sites, when used correctly, can be a fantastic way to launch your product and get a huge burst of sales. In addition, you can periodically, about every 2 to 3 months, but not too often, share other promotions that you're running on these sites and give your product an additional sales boost throughout the year. Now, this is very important to note. These sites are made up of customers who love great deals. I mean, that's why they visit and are members of these sites. So if you make them a really good offer, it could easily go viral and help you sell hundreds, if not more, maybe thousands of your products. So you want to make sure that you set up your promotion correctly and that you have enough inventory to handle a surge like that. And trust me, we've seen this happen to a couple different members where they've either set up their promotion incorrectly or they created a promotion that was never intended to go onto these sites and ended up selling out of their inventory and lost a lot of money because it wasn't designed for this type of promotion. So be very careful about how you set your promotions and which ones you actually put onto these sites. Now, there's a couple things you'll need to know about these sites. First off, these sites are consumer driven, which means they're designed with the customer in mind, and they're not designed for sellers and retailers like us to sell our products and get free advertising. And secondly, you have to remember that you're not the owner of these sites. So if you want to participate in them, you need to try and follow the rules and contribute like any other shopper or member. Not only is it going to help you out later when you launch your promotions, but it's also the right thing to do. Now let's talk about how to use these sites. First off, to properly season your account, which means getting your account ready before you actually post a deal, you'll want to go ahead and get your account set up at least a few weeks prior to launching your first promotion. The longer it is before you launch your first deal, and of course the more active you are prior to that, the better your chances are to have your deal go well. And now we'll go through all the steps and what you need to do. Now, I'm not going to go through every single site that we talked about because there's literally hundreds of sites out there and each one has its own way of setting up an account and doing the steps we'll go over, but it's pretty straightforward and you can find the instructions on each site that you go to. But step one is to create an account. And you'll want to use a persona and a generic email address. So definitely not your name or a name tied to your company and not an email address tied to your company either. You want to use something at Gmail or Yahoo and just a generic email address. Then you want to fill out as much information as possible on the profile. Remember, you want them to see you as just a regular person and another member of their site. So fill in as much as you can. And then also you want to add a picture or an avatar so that your account looks more complete. And then if the deal site is only for US residents, you may need to get a proxy service in order to get your account set up. The next step is to actually start participating in the site. So for the next couple of weeks, you want to visit the site just like any other member would who's looking to find or share great deals. And try spending about 5 to 10 minutes a day on the site, and especially the one you plan on sharing your deal with. You never know, as when I was doing this myself, I actually found a lot of great deals that I ended up taking advantage of, so it's kind of fun to do too. One idea is to find some deals on products that you own or are familiar with and make some comments about what you do or do not like about them. That way, you're actually giving back to the community and you're starting to be seen as a valued new member. Another idea is to follow some of the more popular people on those sites and vote up their deals, or at least some of them. Each site has its own way of voting on deals, which is similar to voting on Amazon reviews and comments. So it should be pretty easy to figure out. And lastly, if you happen to come across a deal on the internet that you think would fit in perfectly with the site that you're on, go right ahead and post it. You just want to make sure, though, that it's not for your own product nor any other ASM product. And as a matter of fact, I wouldn't post any deal that's for a strictly Amazon sold product. I'd find something outside of Amazon, such as on Sears or Target, something like that, because later on when you are posting your deal going straight to Amazon, you just don't want to have a pattern of only posting deals to Amazon. So finally, the third step is actually when you're ready to post your deal. So after a few weeks, you can go ahead and post your deal to the site following their rules and guidelines for doing so. Now remember, your deal has to be a great deal in order to take off on its own. 10 to 20% off coupons simply won't cut it, and the members of these sites know that and they'll shoot your deal down. So it really has to be a great one, and I suggest something at least between 30 and 50% off at the minimum. Now, that amount off we're talking about, it should be off your normal selling price, not your retail price. These are very smart buyers looking for deals, and they know that no one ever pays retail. So don't tell them that your 20% off is off the retail price, when in reality, you never sell it for that anyway. Also, I suggest make sure your deal has a sense of urgency to it, such as it expires at midnight or the next day. That way you'll get a lot more people to go in and accept your deal now. And one thing you might want to do is share how you found the deal. It makes it a little more real. Like, did you get it in an email, find it on another deal site, or maybe on a Facebook page that you follow? Now remember, this is really important. You're a consumer who came across the deal. You're not someone who is selling it. So act accordingly. Write your deal just like you found a deal and you just want to share it to people, not that you are the person selling the product and you want to list out all the benefits. So along that line, make sure you don't use any ad copy, such as what you're taught here in this course. These sites can smell a marketer a mile away. So again, post it as a buyer, not a seller. One other thing to keep in mind that I always try to do is after you post your deal, don't comment on it. Now, this is going to be really hard to do because people may not like your product or they may not like the deal, and some people may slam it and make some remarks about whether it's a brand new product, they wouldn't trust it, or a new seller, or the deal just isn't a good one. It's important not to take it personally because remember, you are not the seller, you're just the buyer, so you cannot take these personally. And finally, if your deal's a good one, it's going to take off all on its own. There shouldn't be any need to ask people to go and vote on it, since doing so has its risks of its own. Now, step 4, and this is when you want to do another promotion, I call it round 2. So once your deal is over, you do not want to run another deal for at least 2 to 3 months. Doing that can risk getting your account banned from posting any other future deals, and also reduces the value of your deals when you keep posting discounts after discounts. And if possible, start sharing your deals for your product on your company's own social media and websites. And you might find that your sales are getting picked up all on their own by other people who have bought your product, are members of the sites, and want to share the promotions when they see it. So here are some final thoughts. First off, using coupon on deal sites is not a long-term marketing strategy, but it's simply one of the many, many tools you have at your disposal, and its purpose is to get you a burst of sales from time to time. So at some point, one of the sites you're using may very well flag or suspend your account, but do not, and I repeat, do not let it bother you, nor take it personally. These sites pride themselves in their moderation and can be incredibly aggressive, and if anything even smells of a promotion rather than someone just sharing a deal, they tend to shoot first and not even bother asking questions later. And finally, we just created a brand new section in the forums that's never existed before that is solely for sharing information on this topic, such as sites that members have come across that they're now using to share their own deals, strategies that are or are not working, and in general, any other information on this topic that might help other members out. So be sure to check it out, as we're really excited about this, as it's going to be another great resource for all of our members to have.
So now you're going to create a YouTube video to promote your Amazon product. YouTube itself is a massive source of traffic, but YouTube videos also rank extremely fast in Google. So not only are you going to be getting traffic from YouTube, you'll also be getting traffic from Google to your Amazon product. And that traffic also converts very well because 52% of consumers say that they are more confident and more likely to buy a product after watching a video first. And this is going to be a great starting point for promoting your Amazon listing. Now, the best video to create to promote your Amazon product is a how-to video, because the largest number of searches related to videos on YouTube are for how-to videos. That's what people want to watch and that's what they want to see. So the best type of video is a live person literally demonstrating the product. It can be how to use it or how to do something with it that's of benefit to the person watching it. So this could be you, or it could be a friend or family member, or if that's not an option, having a live person demonstrate the product for whatever reason, then you can do a video, with PowerPoint or Prezi, or even get somebody on Fiverr to read a script. That's sort of your second option. Best option is to have a live person demonstrating it, because that's what people really want to click on and want to watch when the video's on YouTube. So it's just going to be additional traffic for the same exact video. And another thing to think about is that this video really does need to represent your product. You don't want to just throw something up there with cheesy music. It really does need to represent your product, because you're going to use it for a while. It's hopefully going to be getting a lot of traffic and making people actually want to buy your product. So a few tips for creating your video. Tip number 1 is you want to make sure that there's actually spoken words in the video, not just like a slideshow with music playing. The reason for this is that YouTube actually analyzes the videos and transcribes them to see what keywords the video is actually relevant for. So if you have spoken words in there, talking about whatever your product is and whatever keywords you're targeting, that's going to help you rank better inside of YouTube. Tip number 2 is that you want to make sure that the length ideally is between 30 and 120 seconds. Too short, then you're not going to rank as well. Too long, people aren't going to want to sit there and watch that long. So 30 to 120 seconds. Tip number 3 is you want to make sure that there's a long, keyword-rich description in the description field for the YouTube video. Then at the end of that, and maybe even at the beginning as well, have a good, strong call to action. In this case, likely telling people to buy your product or go check it out on Amazon. You're going to get more detail on this video page and the detailed guide we have about setting all of this up.
Welcome to this video on getting your video created. Now, if you have never created a video of your own before, then don't be worried. There are several different ways you can get videos created easily and affordably, and I'm going to cover the best and easiest to get you started. Animoto.com. Now, Animoto is a web service that enables you to make videos quickly and easily using images and music. There is a free version, but I recommend you get the $5 a month version at least, as it gives you more options like themes and enables you to download the video yourself. Essentially, all you need is images, either of your product or niche related images, or both. You will then upload them to the site, choose your theme and your music track, which are all provided by Animoto, and the site will do the rest. Now, these are not going to be high quality sales videos, but they are very effective, and we have many members who have built their entire brand just using Animoto videos. Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is my favorite place for getting my videos done. Now, I've been creating videos for 8 years, and I still use Fiverr.com for virtually all of my videos for my Amazon products and sites. Generally, you can get a decent video created for you for just $5, but you can also pay a little extra for higher quality. There are two main reasons I use Fiverr. First, a video costs $5, and I value my time at more than $5 for however long it takes to create a video myself, and you should too. There are multiple different types of videos you can get done on Fiverr. However, I'm not going to go to the site and show you how to search, as we don't want everyone using the same people and the same videos, but I'm going to tell you how to search. All you need to do is go to Fiverr.com, set up an account if you have not already got one. Then in the search box, type in video or make video or create video or pretty much anything containing the word video. Then click on high rating to sort them. Then work your way through them looking for anything that looks interesting. Here are some types of video you might want to look at. Face videos. Basically providers that will actually speak in front of a camera and say whatever you want them to say. Testimonials. Normally this will also be a face video and will actually give a testimonial about your product. Funny or quirky videos. I like these because the vast majority of the ones that I have had created for me, people watching them watch right until the end so they see the call to action. Animated videos. Same as funny or quirky. For whatever reason, people tend to be there right until the end of the video. Personally, my highest ranking and highest traffic videos are all animated videos. Whiteboard videos, also known as scribe videos. Essentially, these are the style where you see an animated hand on a screen writing words or even drawing pictures. And explainer video. This is similar. But all of these videos you can find on Fiverr.com and you can see exactly what they are. The vast majority of providers will actually show you examples of their work. Now, for the majority of these video types, you just need to provide the person creating your video with a short script. But don't worry, they're going to walk you through it and they will ask you for exactly what they need. Now, don't forget, you must remember to add a call to action for your videos where applicable. If you ask your provider, they will do it for you or just include it in your script. Now, if you want to create a high quality video, like the one Matt talked about in the previous video to this one, then you will need to spend a little bit more, obviously. However, these videos I've just discussed are fantastic for creating brand awareness, and especially for getting you traffic and links to your product and sites. Now, in the next video, I will show you how to use the powerful ASM video submission tool. But to use it, obviously you've got to go out there and get a video created or create one yourself. So take action, go out and get a video ready, and then move on to the next video, and I'm going to show you how to upload that video to several sites automatically and to actually boost it. That's it for this video. Take care.
Hi, Mike McCleary here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a Facebook ad in order to sell your own products on Amazon. Now, the strategy used in this ad is the same one used by Matt and Jason when they were able to sell over 2,400 products all within just a 12-hour period. That shows you just how powerful Facebook ads can be. Now, there are a lot of different strategies for how to run Facebook ads, but the most basic one involves coming up with a really great offer for your product, putting it in front of the right people on Facebook, and then sending them straight to your product page on Amazon. That's the one that we're going to cover here. Now, for these ads, you'll be using your own product, but for the sake of this video, I randomly picked one, and this is the Big Mouth Toys prescription coffee mug. It's not my product, it's just one that I thought looked pretty cool, and anyone who knows me knows that I love my coffee. So now that we have the product that we'll be selling, the next thing you want to make sure you have is that you have a promotion set up. You want to make sure that the sale or deal you're giving your customers is really a great one so that they're going to click on your ad, and also when they get to your product as Amazon, they're going to want to buy it. So you can check out the other video on how to set up your own Amazon promotion in this module. Make sure you do that ahead of time because it takes about 4 hours for those promotions to be live. Once that's ready though, the next thing is to go ahead and actually go into Facebook and set up your campaign. Now what you're looking at here is the basic Facebook Ads Manager. However, we don't really want to use this. We want to use what's called their Power Editor. This is going to give you some more functionality as far as targeting and also for setting up your ad. So you click on that. So now I'm in the Power Editor, and before you get started, you'll want to click on the Download to Power Editor, and that just makes sure that any campaign data you have in your Facebook account is actually downloaded into this interface here. From here you can see that we have tabs for campaigns, ad sets, and ads. And if you've went through the Amazon ads training that's also in this module, you'll notice that it's a similar layout. You can have a campaign, and each campaign can have multiple ad sets. You can test different things, and then each ad set can have multiple ads. But for this, we're going to keep it simple. We'll have one campaign with one ad set and one ad. So all we need to do is click the plus button, and that brings up our Create Campaign dialog box. And we're going to give our campaign a name here. It doesn't matter what it is. We're just going to call this Prescription Coffee Mug. For the buying type, we'll leave that at auction. That's totally fine. And for the objective, we'll want to leave this at clicks to a website for now. And then click Create. Now our campaign is created here, and one thing I want to point out is that the interface you see may be a little different now because Facebook is always updating their Power Editor, so some of the buttons and tabs may be slightly different. However, the functionality should basically be the same. So let's go now and create our ad set. Click on the Ad Set tab and then click on Plus. Now we're going to use the existing campaign that we just created, and we're going to give our ad set a name. It can be anything again. We'll just call this one Ad Set 1 and click Create. Now once your ad set's created, this is actually where you set your budget. You want to make sure you set it for wherever you're comfortable at. For your first ones, you want to keep it low. They're suggesting $10 a day. You definitely don't want to go anything higher than $50 or $100. Depends on your budget and what your goal is here. Also, you don't want to set it too high just in case you set something up incorrectly. So keep it kind of low, maybe 10 or let's go for $20 for this first one. And then you want to make sure that the dates down here and the time coincide with when your promotion that you created is going to be live. Remember, again, it takes 4 hours for any promotion you set up to go live, so you don't want to be running any Facebook ads before your promotion is actually live. So next, we're going to go ahead and actually set up our ad. So clicked on the Ads tab, now hit the plus button to create it. We're going to use the existing campaign, use the existing ad set, and just give whatever name we want. Let's call it the Prescription Coffee Mug Ad 1 and hit Create. Now before our ad's ready to go, there's 3 main sections we'll have to fill in. The first one is Creative, and that's the section we're in right now, which contains the images and ad copy for our ad. The next is Audience, and that's going to be who we're targeting in order to show our ad to. And then finally, Optimization and Pricing, which is our bidding strategy and how much we're willing to pay for every click on this ad. So let's fill out the creative first. There's our ad name we already came up with. The objective is website conversions. That's fine. Page post linked to your website. That's fine too. The next one you want to consider is the Facebook page or place that is actually going to be posting this ad. So if you can look over here, you'll see that I'm using an old web page, or actually an old Facebook fan page I created a long time ago. That's totally fine. You'll probably want to use your company page or your brand page in order to sponsor this, or it can actually be your personal page too. Either is fine. You just want to make sure that you pick the one that you want in order to sponsor this post. Then for the actual post, we're going to create it here to use for our ad. So you could select an existing photo or post, but we don't want to do that. Instead, you want to create a new unpublished post. And what that means is that it's going to create a post just as if you were placing it on this page, but it's not going to show up there, and instead it's only going to be used for this ad. So let's click on that and do that now. Now, while I had the video paused there, you may not have noticed it, but I went ahead and created a little mock-up of our ad over here first, only because I want you to see when we're entering the fields up here where they're going to show up over here. It's going to make it a little easier to see that. We can't see them all, but it'll show us some of them. First off, we need the URL that we'll be sending our customers to, and that's simply the product page. So we go over to our product, copy that, and enter that into the URL. Now the post text, this is going to be on top of your image. So kind of like an upper headline. So let's type in something here like, oh my God, look at this special. Save 50% on this awesome coffee mug at Amazon.com right now. For the call to action button, let's make it a shop now button. And then for the link headline, this is going to show up right below your picture. And again, I want to mention that Facebook does a good job of telling you exactly what these fields mean. If you look on the little information buttons and hover over them, they're going to tell you exactly where these show up. So for the link headline, let's use get your prescription coffee mug now before the sale ends to add a little bit of urgency, and then we'll go back and fix our spelling there. Now the display link, this can be exactly the same as the URL that you're sending them to. If you had a really, really long URL and you didn't want it to show up there, it might look too clunky. You could always shorten it, but for this one, we're just going to use the exact same URL. And then for the description, this is going to go right below the link headline. Now, the important thing to remember here is that when your customer clicks on the button on your ad, it's going to take them right to your product page on Amazon. So if you're actually having a sale where they need to enter your promotion code, you need to tell them that promotion code right here so they don't forget it. And preferably, try to make your promotion code something that's easy to remember. So let's go ahead and add that in now. Click here to buy and enter code. Let's see, we need an 8-character code for our promotion code, and hopefully we set that up already. Coffee, I think that's 8 characters right there, during checkout. Next, we need to upload an image that I've already copied from our product page. So we select it, hit open, and then our ad is complete. Just hit the create post button. Now, as you can see over here, that's what our ad looks like. Looks pretty good. Oh my God, look at the special. Save 50% on this awesome coffee mug at Amazon.com right now. There's that link headline I was telling you about. Get your prescription coffee mug now before the sale ends. And then click here to buy and enter code coffee during checkout. So now when they click the shop now button, it'll take them right to your product page. And hopefully they'll go ahead and enter the promotion code and purchase your product. Now, before we hit on the targeting, there's one other thing we need to do. You need to scroll down to the bottom and select where we're going to place this ad. And what we want to do is select Newsfeed Desktop Only. First off, this really doesn't go in the right-hand side. That's not this type of ad anyway. And mobile tends to perform differently than desktop. So for your first ads, just trust us and choose the Newsfeed Desktop Only. Next, we'll go back up and we're going to go over and start selecting our targeting and our audience. Now, while the discount or promotion you created inside Amazon and the ad we just created here are both really important to how well your ad campaign is gonna go, the target audience that you'd be putting this ad in front of is just as important, because you really want to make sure that only those people that you think have a good chance of buying your product are going to see the ad. Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting money showing it out there to too many people. So Facebook gives us some really good details and tools for narrowing down your target audiences. Right now, it's on the screen. I haven't done any targeting. It's pretty wide open. It's only the United States. So you'll see the potential audience is 114 million people. Probably don't want to put this ad out in front of that many people. Probably want to get it close to something around 1 or 2 million if possible. Maybe 10 million if you're only spending $10, $20 a day. Feel free to throw your ad in front of some other people or a lot more people and just see how it goes, because your exposure is pretty limited by your overall budget. However, if possible, definitely know your market and try to target them using Facebook's tools. So let's go through some of these. We're not going to go through everything here. This is not a full-blown Facebook course. It's just to give you the basics so that you can get an ad up and running and get a short burst of sales. So first off is location. Of course, if you're selling on Amazon.com, you want that to be United States. Then there's the age range. So not only do you want to focus on age of people who will like your product, but you also want to make sure they're people who can afford to buy your product. So you'll know that better than anyone else will. Already that's narrowed 114 million audience down to 76 million. Then we could also target by gender. We could enter a language if we want to focus on English, for example. And then down here we get into demographics, interests, behaviors, categories. I won't go into all those, but interest is kind of an interesting one. No pun intended there. You can click on it and you can go through the menu and select different interests. So we'll go down to food and drink, and then under, let's see, beverages, and there's coffee right there. So let's add that in. So now by narrowing it down there, we've went down a lot more, from 76 million to 22 million already. In addition to just selecting through that menu, you can type in different types of options. So let's start typing in coffee, and you'll see a lot of different options come up. The coffee, bean, and tea leaf, for example. Coffee lovers, we'll pick that one. The number didn't really go down there because it looks like coffee lovers is most likely a subset of coffee. But you could start entering all kinds of interest based on your product and try to narrow down your targeting as much as possible. And finally, the last thing we need to enter is our optimization and pricing. A lot of times you can just pick the optimized CPM. We know a lot of people that actually, some very successful marketers that still use that. So that's an easy way to get things going. Let them optimize it and get you the most impressions. And once you've done that, your ad is done. All you need to do is upload your changes, and then you can see it running once it's been approved. Now, I realize this overview is pretty high level, and it doesn't go into nearly all of the different scenarios and options and things you can do with Facebook advertising. But the goal of this course is not to make you a Facebook advertising expert. It's to make you a business owner with Amazon as your launching platform for building your own brand. So what you learned here is more than enough to get going, especially if you want to just do a quick launch of your product and get some initial sales going. And then later on, once you learn more about advertising on Facebook and become more familiar with it, you can test it and try out some other things and actually use it to continue promoting your product all throughout the year. There are a lot of great different functions you'll find in Facebook. They have some really good training inside there that'll show you how to use their ads, and I suggest you go there and learn those if you do want to go ahead and learn more about Facebook advertising. Hi, Mike McCleary here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a Google AdWords ad campaign in order to send some targeted traffic from Google to your product listing page on Amazon. However, before I do that, I need to make a very important disclaimer, and that is that this strategy may or may not work for you. And the reason for that is that Google has some limitations on how many advertisers it allows to send traffic from Google to the same web page. It's probably easier if I show that to you, so let's go over and take a look right now. So here we are on Google, and let's imagine that we're selling shower heads, and we want to do a little bit of market research and see who else might be selling shower heads on Amazon and also trying to advertise on Google. So we'll type in our search term, shower heads, there we go. Google shows us the results, and now what we're going to see here is the top 3 are always Google sponsored ads, and you can tell those by that little yellow box that says ad by them. On the right hand side, these are actually called product ads, and there's something a little different, and we're not going to go over that in this video. Then below them, we carry on again, and they pick up the remaining numbers of the different sponsored ads. All down here, these are paid ads. Now, we all know that there are millions of people that are selling products on Amazon, or at least millions of products being sold by hundreds of thousands of people. So you would think that if there's that many people selling products on Amazon, that we would see at least 2, 3, maybe 4 people advertising on Google and sending those clicks to their own product detail page on Amazon. However, if you notice here, look at the domains that these are going to. This one is going to Martin Glass. This one's going to Moen, that's the manufacturer. We finally get to the first ad that's actually going to Amazon. Now, if we continue down, we still would think, well, there's got to be other people that will be advertising on Amazon. However, you will not see them anywhere else in their paid advertisements. And the reason for that is Google doesn't allow it. Google has their own rule that for every search term that someone searches for, of all the ads they show, each one has to go to a different domain. So if there are 2 people both selling a product on Amazon, even though there's separate detail pages on Amazon, only one of those ads will ever be shown at a time. Now, how does Google decide which one of those ads actually gets shown? Usually, it's who's bidding the most. Now, there are a couple other factors that take into account, such as quality score and relevance, but usually it comes down to money. So whoever bids the most will get their ad shown on here. So what that means is that if you're going to try to advertise your product and someone else or multiple other people are already advertising their product on Google, you're going to get into a bidding war with them, which means it might not be financially reasonable or possible for you to advertise on Google and make any money sending that traffic to Amazon. Now, I mention that because maybe for a product launch, you don't care, you're going to spend a little money, you don't really need to make money, you're just trying to get some initial traffic. So this strategy, it might work out where you're okay spending a little more than you would and breaking even or losing a little bit by advertising on Google, but for a long-term strategy, this definitely will not work for everyone. And I just want to mention that so that you're fully aware of that. So let's go back and actually start setting up our first ad campaign. So you can go ahead and create yourself an AdWords account, and there's lots of help on this page for how to do that. So we're assuming that you know how to set up an account or at least can follow the instructions. Now, first off, when you get into your campaign, you'll see it's blank because you don't have anything created, and all you need to do is click on the plus to add a campaign. Now, there's a couple different options here. The one that I always try to use that's the simplest is the search network only. So that's the first type of campaign that we're going to set up. Now you can give the ad campaign any name you want. We'll call it the shower head campaign. And again, this doesn't really matter. You'll see a couple different options over here. You can leave these the way that they are, standard or all features, doesn't really matter which one. Down here, do you want to include their search partners? I usually do. They also will show that your ad in some other different search networks, so I keep that on there. You can determine whether or not you want your ads to show up on all devices or not. You can also determine where you want your product ads to show. Now, if you're only selling on Amazon.com, you definitely want to choose just the United States. You can pick your language, and then down here is where you're going to start picking how you're going to bid. Now, what I do is I like to manually select my bids, and I start off with a pretty low one, let's say 50 cents, just to see how things are going. And then you also want to set your budget. And now, definitely when you're starting off on Google AdWords, you can blow through a lot of money very quickly. So start with something kind of low just so you don't lose your shirt on this. We'll start off with $20. Now, once we do that, you just click on Save and Continue. And now we're to where we're creating an ad group. And if you recall, by looking at the Facebook video we created earlier, you went through earlier, this is basically the same structure. You have a campaign, then you have ad groups on the campaign, and there can be many ad groups for each campaign. And then for each ad group, we're going to have multiple ads you can actually create. But for the simplicity's sake, we're going to have one campaign, one ad group, and one ad to start off with. So you give the ad group a name. We'll leave it as ad group number 1. And here is actually where we first want to create our ad. Now, as you're typing in the ads or the words for your ads, you'll notice a little number over here, and that's going to tell you how many characters you have left. You want to try to use all the characters that you have, but really the problem you'll have most likely is you're running out of characters. So let's say that we have the best shower head around. That'll be our headline. Buy now, on sale on Amazon. And what I like to do is to always give the price. That way you are pre-qualifying people a little bit. You don't get people who are just interested in finding out what the price is. You tell them what it is right here. That way, if it's already too expensive and something they're not interested in, they're not going to spend your money by clicking on it. So we'll type in, let's see, $19.99, ships today, and let's see, made in USA. The next thing is the display URL. So this is not the actual link that you're sending your product to, but it's going to be a pretty looking link. However, it has to be something that looks realistic to the customers. So for example, if your product is a shower head on Amazon, let's type this in, www.amazon.com/showerhead. And then for the actual URL that we're sending it to, this is going to be your product page. Let's go up here. Here is the product. This is the Qzx909 waterhead. We're just going to get the link from it up there. And we will copy that right into this destination URL. Now, all we need to do here is next enter the keywords. So the real easy thing here is that Google's automatically going to suggest some keywords for you. Now you probably already did your own keyword research, so you know which ones you want to list in here. I would suggest starting off with just a couple keywords, maybe 1, 2, or 3. So let's start off with shower head. Then let's put the word together too, shower head, because people might put it together. And then let's also go in for best shower head. And we'll start off with just those three. Now, sometimes you can click on the estimate search traffic and it'll tell you exactly what you think you'll be spending and getting. Oh, this is pretty good. So it's telling us that the average cost per click is going to be somewhere between 22 and 27 cents. That's actually really good. How many clicks they think we'll get per day and what the cost is going to be per day. That's actually really good. We kind of like lucked in this one. So our default bid is going to be 50 cents. We can leave it at that. We could actually go ahead and lower this a little bit since they're saying the average click is going to be that. So we'll start with this though, but you can test it around. And then let's click on Save Ad Group. Now you're actually already done. By setting that up, you've entered in the campaign, you've created the ad group, we've created the ad, and we've also entered in the keywords. Right now, though, the ad still has to be approved, but that's really all there is as far as setting up a basic AdWords campaign. It'll usually take about an hour or so. If you have a brand new account, it may take a little longer because they do manually review all the ads. But once your ad is up and running, you'll be able to see your clicks coming through. Just like on the Amazon ads, it's going to show you the number of clicks, the number of impressions, what your click-through rate is. On here, you want it to be probably somewhere around 3 to 5% is a pretty good click-through rate. Above that is a really good click-through rate. It's also going to tell you what position your ad is showing up in. So remember, we looked over here. We saw these are the first top 3 positions. Then they start over here going with 4, 5, 6. So when they show 1.2 or 2.7, that's the average spot that your ad is showing up in. I always like mine to show up in position maybe 2 or 3 and kind of target around that. But that's pretty much all there is to it. As long as your daily budget is low, you don't really run any risk of spending too much money, but you definitely want to monitor this, watch and see how your ads are performing, and hopefully this will be a good strategy for you, especially early on how to get some quick traffic to a product that you've launched and get some sales.